Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Loft. My name is Kazi and I will be your host. And just like I promised you guys last time, that I would have a very special guest. I'll just let him introduce himself and we'll just get right into
All
it.
right, Deadass. This is like my third time introducing myself. We've had a bunch of technical difficulties. Like I can't even talk anymore. I'm flustered. Um, okay, yeah. So my name is Julian. You probably know me. If you do know me, you probably know me through For Your Entertainment. My friends who are YouTubers here in Toronto, like myself, we have a talk show there called Group Chat, or they have a talk show called Group Chat that I'm on often, where we talk about different topics. And I decided to start my own called Sunday Brunch on my own channel. So check that out if you're interested. And yeah, I saw Kazi was doing her own podcast, so I figured I'd come on and help her out. So here we are. What are we talking about?
So, I got a lot of requests to do this topic, and it was the over sexualization of females and women on social media, like, for example, Twitter or Instagram, like, I guess, like thirst traps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of curious, what is your take on it? Because from seeing you on group chat and everything, you do have quite strong opinions and everything. So I thought you would be a great candidate for this
You make
episode.
me sound like an asshole. Honestly, my opinions aren't strong. I just articulate them very well.
He's not
Um,
an asshole,
no,
guys.
no, I'm a good youth. My opinion on sexualization on Instagram is I feel like it's a really subjective topic and it all depends on your position in that person's life. Like I said in the past two audio recordings. So like say that person is your girlfriend or your sister or your cousin, you're gonna feel a certain way about it, right? You're not gonna feel okay. Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I think generally speaking, you're not gonna feel okay seeing one of those people I listed like in their bra and panties on Instagram, unless it's their like profession. Say they're a model, or whatever, a different thing. If you're getting a check
Yeah,
for
for
it, it's
sure.
different. But I feel like outside of that, like I don't really agree with it. Like I don't know, I feel like it's an attention grab, and I
Yeah.
feel like the biggest point I can make about it, because defendants of it will say, oh, it's like that kind of what are they saying? Body, what is this called?
Like body
Yeah,
positivity movement.
they'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that or
Or like
whatever.
free the nipple.
Exactly, free nipple, all them things. I support that movement 100%. But like the body positivity thing, like honestly, it comes down to like attention. If those people who posted those pictures, right, like in their bras, in their
Hmm.
panties, whatever, like if they didn't get any likes on their pictures or whatever, I guarantee it would stop. And you can't say the same for regular pictures, right? There's tons of accounts out there where people are not sexualizing themselves, are not getting like 100 plus likes on Instagram, and they're still going, right? But I feel like
Yeah.
if you post those pictures and you don't get any likes, don't get any love, any attention off it, I feel like they kind of stop. And if the premise of you posting that is to get attention, then you should probably rethink doing it, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. Also, I also noticed like um girls post stuff and if they don't get the kind of attention they want, they delete it and repost it at a different time.
Mm.
So like it's kind of clear what it's there for.
I mean, I do that
Um,
shit on the lows, but but that's different. You dig? I'm not like
I'll act like I don't notice.
honestly, I've done it like
Okay.
twice, and
I'm kidding.
yeah, I've done it twice. But yeah, like it's totally an attention grab, and I don't know. I get it. Like you want to feel sexy. If you look good, you want to show that you look good. But like you don't
Hmm.
have to go to the extreme of being in like your bra and panties. And honestly, I feel so like subjective about it because then I can bring up the point of like, oh, like bra and panties are kind of like a swimsuit. Like, am I gonna be mad if a girl posts like a little bikini pic? Probably not. I won't care at all.
Probably not, yeah.
But like, what about a
But
bra and a
then
panty makes it different?
I guess because like the bra and the panty is like meant for the bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
Is it?
Like it's I I guess unless you're like at home by yourself or like with your boy. I don't know. Like this is me personally, right? Like I feel I wouldn't walk around in my bra and panties. Like
No
I
fun.
think it's kind of like a just like a bedroom kind of thing, or like if I were to be living with
Hmm.
the dude I'm with, like I'd walk around in my bra and panties. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know, something about a girl that can like look just as sexy as the girl that's like showing off everything that she has, but she's like completely covered.
Hmm.
Does that make any sense? Like, if a girl's completely covered and she looks just as sexy as the girl that's like showing off her body, kind of thing.
No, I get it. Like, yeah, I guess you have a different level of like attractiveness, but at the same time, I don't want to be that guy that like determines what's okay and what's not okay for women to do as far as their image. Like, that's how
Yeah,
life has always been for women. So it's kind of unfair for me to even speak on this.
I guess, yeah.
But that's why it's such a subjective and tricky topic. Like, because when those pictures go up, like, I like them nonetheless.
Yeah.
So like,
Still gonna comment.
I don't. It's such a difficult thing to talk about. Like I said, if it was my family member or like my girlfriend, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
upset. If it's not, then I don't really care. I'm gonna like the picture same ways, but then I might feel a certain way about you. You know, I feel like it's just
Yeah. Would you look at the person differently for having those kind of like thirst traps up rather than like a girl that doesn't really do that kind of thing?
I'm gonna I'm gonna feel like you just like attention.
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
anything
I
wrong with
see that
liking
for sure.
attention? Not really. We all kind of want it, right? Like if a lot of us had the choice to be famous, I think a lot of us would take it because like what we like the attention and we like the things that come from it. So can I really be mad? It's like they're using something that I don't like. I use things to get attention. Like I'm not cocky or anything, but like okay, when I have a fitness Instagram account and like I used
Hmm.
to put up pictures with my shirt off because I had a six pack and I had like nice shoulders and nice arms and a nice chest. And I
Yeah, yeah.
did that because I got affirmation from it. And I guess it's the same thing. Like we all want the attention. So how mad can I really be at a girl for using what she has to get attention?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that, but also like I kind of feel like in a world that like everything's like so overexposed
Hmm.
that like having that little mystery of like I don't know, like not showing off your body and not everyone knowing what you look like when you're naked is I think it's kind of cool. I don't know about most people like I don't know. I would personally want just like one person to know how I look like without clothes on or like how I look um in like a bra and panties. Do you know what I mean? Like I just like it's not like me trying to be submissive to the guy or anything like oh like I'm only covered up because of him because I'm like oppressed or something, but more like with social media everyone knows everything about you, everyone sees everything about you. I feel like to keep it kind of special between you and your guy, like it could be the one thing that's not all out there,
I hear what you're
if that makes
saying,
sense.
but then at that point, who are you really living for? Are you living for your partner or are you living for yourself? You know? And what if
Damn,
you don't
with the
have
heat right there.
you dig what I'm saying? I told you I come with articulated points. But yeah, at that point, are you living for yourself or are you living for your partner? Ideally, I feel like, especially at our age, a young age, you need to do things for yourself. You need to make sure you know yourself and you're secure with yourself and
Hmm.
you explore yourself before you make decisions for yourself for your partner. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah, I
can't
totally feel you
you
on that.
can't like hold yourself back in any sense just because you want to please someone else. Not at our age or not
Hmm.
ever really. I mean, you always have to
Yeah,
please
yeah.
yourself first, or else you'll always be like not. I don't know. You won't really be fully content with who you are, and your happiness will be living through someone else. You know.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from, and it does kind of like switch my opinion on what I just said as well. Um, but then again, it goes back to how you said, is it the same thing really? Where if it's just another girl on Instagram, or if it's your girlfriend? Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, would you really want your girl to be like butt ass naked on on the gram?
On the lows, that probably honestly depends how she looks. You know, if she's looking nice, then like there's nothing wrong with a little envy out there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing wrong with like dudes being like, oh, that's Julian's girl or whatever, blah blah
You're like, I
blah.
got
Yeah,
that.
there's nothing wrong with a little envy like that. I don't know, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just ultimately so subjective, and the more I talk about it, the more like I guess wishy washy I seem because I can go like either way. Like I can say
Mhm.
yes and I can say no, and I really don't know in my head what I truly believe. I can try like convince myself of either or and do so equally. So I don't know, but I definitely feel like there's a double standard. Like if guys do it, it's not seen as a thing at all.
Oh yeah, like guys will post up like shirtless pictures of themselves, like even you were saying like progress pictures or
Hmm.
whatever, right? And
Yeah, like
they're like, oh, like you get like positive affirmation from it, right? Like, whereas I feel like if a girl does post something, they're gonna be like, oh, what a slut, what a hoe, kind of thing. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like I was never called a slut or anything. Like I was praised 100%. Like no one said anything at all, unless say they just didn't like my body or they thought I was too muscular or whatever. Then they'd say something about it. But as far as like
Mm-hmm.
negative, I guess what like slut shaming type shit, like never. Like I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
ever got that.
Like you
So
never got like a negative connotation from it at all.
and then if I see guys posting like shirtless pics on the gram or whatever, I don't really see it as an attention grab personally. But if I see a girl
Yeah.
posting that, I'm like, oh God, why is she doing that?
Okay, yeah, you totally do have a point because like if a girl posts something, it's like, oh, it's a thirst trap.
Yeah,
If a guy posts something, it's like, oh, it's just a dude with a progress pic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So
oh, the guy just feels great about his body. Why not show it off?
exactly. It's honestly like a really bad double standard, and for a lot of us, even us who are like aren't ignorant and we're willing to see both sides, and we don't really have
Mm-hmm.
tunnel vision when it comes to certain things. Like it's hard to fight double standards because like they're so deeply rooted. You know what I'm saying? Like traditionally, you have a view of what a girl is, and you have a view of what a guy is, and gender roles that they play and you're
Yeah.
raised out and you're raised a certain way based on where you're from, your like culture, your religion, um, where you're from like geographically, and it's just hard to shake those double standards. But I feel like once you kind of admit to them, like I admit I live with a bunch of double standards, and once you kind of admit to them, you're a little more understanding. Like I said, it's really hard to shake them, but once you admit to your double
Yeah.
standards, you kind of like take a step back, and instead of judging or outright judging someone publicly or shaming them
Yeah.
publicly, you kind of take a step back and think about each situation before you kind of act on it, which is what I do. Like I'll never call a girl out or call a girl a slut or a whore for anything, even outside of like pictures, because the double standard stretches to even like say what's the word? I don't know, guys and girls
Promiscuity.
promiscuity, yeah. Promiscuity between males and females, right? If a guy sleeps with 20
Yeah.
girls and a girl sleeps with 20 guys, that girl's gonna be
Yeah, they're totally viewed way
called
differently.
several names, right? But
Yeah.
like me, like I've never really been the type to call a girl those names or whatever because I understand the double standard and I understand that it's not right.
Yeah.
And I may judge on the inside to a certain extent, but I try my best to fight those double standards and like I'll never judge
Yeah.
someone off of a double standard. At least not like outright, and I'll always try to empathize with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, I know even like growing up in the town that I'm from, that was like a huge
Abbotsford,
thing
shout
all
out
the
to you.
time. A
Shout
town.
shout out the
Uh,
Rowley twins one time.
um, but yeah, even growing up here, it was kind of like that was like a huge thing. In high school, everyone made it a huge deal. Like the guys would get big ups, and then the girls would be like slut shame. But then the those are the same girls that the guys would try getting with,
Hmm.
and then they would get choked when they'd get rejected or something, and it's just
They get
like
choked?
like mad.
Oh.
Sorry, it's not Toronto,
Oh,
not Toronto
thought y'all
lingo.
were getting choked out over it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in Abbotsford?
No, not even.
No, that's a point I used to make all the time. Like in high school, I went to high school called Fletcher's, in a city outside Toronto,
Hmm.
and like girls totally just got shitted on. Like, do you know the term like
Yeah.
brainer? Have you heard that term before?
No, is that a Toronto thing?
Yeah, I guess. Apparently. So a brainer is like a girl. Like giving head is giving brains. Actually, it's not a
Oh,
Toronto slang,
okay.
but giving brains, right? So you call them brainers.
Okay, okay.
So
Brainers.
girls would get called brainers like every day. Got called whores, like, oh, that girl's a brainer. You know that, blah blah blah. And they're like the same girls that these dudes are yelling at, calling brainers. Like they're trying to holler at them on the low on MSN after school. And
Right.
I'm like, yo, all right, use your head.
Making their MSN statuses about
Yeah,
them.
trust me. Like, how are you gonna like totally ridicule a girl, judge her for things that you want her to do to you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like if you're out there doing the exact same thing, like how are you any different?
Yeah,
Just because you have a dick and she has a vagina doesn't make it any different. I feel like
it doesn't.
um do you say it
No,
does?
it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah. Um also the fact that like it's just like a girl that's been with like 20 guys, say she's had sex with 20 guys one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each. Then what if it's like a girl that's been in a relationship with the same guy getting like having sex continuously, like she's obviously had more sex than the other girl,
Mm-hmm.
but like, and for some reason they think like, oh, the other pussy's like looser, or like, do you know what I mean, like
Yeah, I mean,
more kilometers or whatever.
definitely it comes down to bodies. Like when it comes to that stuff, guys just think about bodies, right? It's
Yeah,
like
like body
if
count.
it's one guy, like majority of guys would be like, all right, that's blessed, like come true, like that's nice. But then if it's like if you have like a lineup and there's like 10 guys, like you can say like, oh, he did it, he did it, he did it, he did it, he did it. Guys have an issue with that,
Yeah, it's true.
and
It's just like if you walk into like a party and it's just like you're with her
hmm
and she's like, been with that guy, that guy, that guy.
I feel away. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like
Yeah.
I'd feel funny, but I get like I'm sure you'd feel funny likewise, right? If you walked into a
Yeah.
party and like 20 girls there like slept with me, they're like, oh yeah, all these girls here slept with Julian. Like you'd feel a certain way too.
Yeah, 100%. I think any girl would, right? Like it would just be like, I don't know, like I don't know if it's cuz like, oh, they got to that person before you, or like I don't know what it is.
Honestly, I feel
Or
like
like I guess people view each other as property, right?
definitely,
Like,
yeah, 100%.
and it's just like you weren't there before them, so it doesn't, like, I don't know, like people aren't property, and I don't think you should like act like you own them, or like even girls that think they own their boyfriends any like explanation as to why they've been with so many guys or whatever. Like I think it's dumb. I know there's like a huge thing here too, like it's probably everywhere. I just keep saying here, but yeah, like if, like I said before, if a guy like sleeps with 20 girls, he gets big ups, and then if a girl sleeps with like more than even like 4, she's like
hmm Yeah.
below everyone, and like you shouldn't touch her. Like I don't
And it's,
know.
I don't know, it's not fair. Like, and that's the way it's always been for girls, and I really don't see it changing. I mean, the best you can do in all these cases is just do better yourself, you know? I
Mhm.
mean, in cases where people have been raised like from birth believing certain things, it's really hard to change that. Not to say that you shouldn't try, but like the best place to start is always with you. Like make sure you're not
Yeah,
the
exactly.
one judging that person and you're not the one putting that person down. Like you should always be kind of like a friend to that person, and that's what I've always tried to be when I can. Like now it's different. I'm older. Like I'm 22 years old now. I'm far removed from high school. I'm like you're out of high school too, so it's like you don't really see people on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis. You don't know what's going on with them. But like
Yeah.
to I don't know if you have high school people listening, but like to all the high school people listening, it's a lot easier for you to do something about it because you see these people on a day-to-day basis and you're around them and you can support them and stuff. So it's kind of your job as an individual to not fall into those double standards and not make those people feel worse about themselves by joining like the other side.
Yeah, exactly. And in a way to think about it, to see from their perspective is like, how would you feel if you were in their shoes,
Yeah,
right? And the only reason you do think the way you do think is just how you said, it's how you grow up in your environment and your culture and religion. If you were grown up in a different environment, in a different culture, I feel like maybe you would not think the same way you're thinking at that
for
moment,
sure.
right? And you should always have an open mind and be willing to evolve your opinions, because opinions are just opinions. At the end of the day, everyone has one, and everyone should be able to evolve them. Also, I think everyone is a product of their environment, but I also think that um, what you do with that, like, you can change your end result, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if, yeah, like for me example, I grew up in a very strict like Muslim household, but I'm so beyond like open minded. I feel like then the community that I'm in, um, that I honestly could care less with how many people a girl slept with, how many guys she's been with, or like if a guy's had like 20 girls that he's been with. Do you know what I mean? Like to me, it's just a number at the end of the day.
You're
Like
saying you wouldn't feel any way about it?
No, okay, I would feel away, but I wouldn't hold it against them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
definitely would feel away, but
I'm telling you, like it's so hard to shake it. Like you're gonna feel away if you start talking to a
yeah.
guy and like you ask him how much people he's slept with, and he like says 30.
I'm like,
You're gonna
damn.
say, whoa, like you're gonna judge him, you're gonna feel insecure, but like you're gonna have a negative
Yeah.
reaction to it.
And I can totally agree with you on that. This is just an example. This is not like calling out anyone, but I was with a dude for like almost 2 years, few years ago, and like I swear to God, like every girl I talked to had slept with him, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Real nigga.
Like, no,
No, play.
he was a dog,
I'm playing. I'm
okay?
playing.
But uh, yeah, no, like I definitely felt away, but then I feel like over time, like I like genuinely loved the dude at the time, or what I thought was love. Um, so like it just slowly kind of stopped being a thing for me, and I kind of just learned to like love him for him. But yeah, no, you definitely still feel away. I didn't think of it too much before I said my piece, but
Nah, yeah, trust me. You're gonna feel away. It's like been
yeah,
there, done that. It's not gonna go away. But like sometimes you just
yeah,
have to like, depending on how you feel about someone, like if you really see yourself with someone and you like the vibe or whatever, like sometimes it's worth it to swallow your pride,
yeah,
and move
exactly.
forward with
You gotta
that
look
person.
past their, yeah, like you have to look past their past, right? Like just
Yeah,
how they might be looking past like a bunch of stuff that they may dislike about your past and the stuff that you've done. You kind of have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they've changed, or like that um like they're not, I don't know, I'm not saying that it's bad to be that way, but honestly, this is such a hard topic.
it is because it's not
I'm
bad
trying
to be
I'm
that way.
trying not
Like,
to offend anyone either, but it's not bad to be that way, but you just have to be able to like look past it and like love them for them, not who they've been with and what they've done in their past, right? Like
yeah,
if they're a good person, then they have like good beliefs, they have a strong mindset, then like why not, right?
and honestly, it's hard to see this when you're young, but sometimes it can be like a blessing in disguise. Like, okay, let's not go as far as like 30 people, but like if you end up with someone and like you're the only person they've been with and you're their first everything, like that can turn out to be a recipe for disaster. And I can speak firsthand. Like at a I don't know, eventually like if you've only been with one person, you're gonna feel like you only know yourself because of that person.
Like through that one person,
Yeah,
right?
like you don't
Yeah.
know yourself like alone with other people in different situations, and like when someone really has like an identity crisis, it can be like it can be really bad for your relationship because even though you're not the issue, you are the issue because you're the only one, you know? As
Yeah.
opposed to someone who has more life experience, not necessarily just sexual experience, but just like more life experience in general, they tend to be more comfortable with themselves. And if someone's more comfortable with themselves, they can be more comfortable with you, and that can always like make for a prolonged relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And also they know how to like handle situations way better because they've had that
yeah,
experience,
for
right?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I honestly thought you were gonna say something like about them being a freak and like knowing
that
what to
well,
do
yeah,
with it.
honestly,
I was
that
like,
too. Like, let's be real. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where you feel
you're
like you're a
stuck in
teacher or
missionary all
some
the
shit.
time.
Like, and this is my student, and you gotta like hold someone's hand through it. I mean,
Honestly, some people might like that.
who? Show me.
Okay, not me. I'm just I don't know who, but the teacher student thing.
Oh, in that case, yeah, yeah, that's a kinky thing. That's a little different. But you know what I mean, though. Like, you just you want to be on a level playing field sometimes when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't mind it, but
Yeah.
I think
I think I think the best fit is like when the both the people are like at an equal level,
hmm
because then it's just like what can you really say about the other
and then you
person?
teach
Do
each
you know what I
other
mean?
things. It's like
Exactly.
when someone can teach you things and you can grow from someone,
Mm-hmm.
it makes that relationship so much more special. I don't know if like maybe people listening have been in a relationship where they felt like they were, I don't know, you always have that kind of like the argument like who wears the pants type thing. But if you've ever
Yeah.
been the person that always wears the pants, like that shit's tiring.
Yeah, I was gonna say that shit gets so
It's like
tiring.
I
Like
have to teach you
you're always
everything,
making the decisions. Yeah.
and the other person can't really teach you anything except for like how to lead and shit. And
Yeah. And
sometimes
there's no growth with that.
exactly there's no growth at all. Like sometimes you need to learn how to, it's cliche, you need to learn how to follow, you know? You need someone to
Yeah.
teach you things, teach you different things, and that's why we get into relationships because when you think about it, a relationship is like a really complex thing. As yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like as an individual, like you're so complex, you don't even know yourself. And to get together with someone else, like another human being who is equally as complex, like that's a difficult thing to be in. And essentially you want to take experiences from that because you guys have had such different life experiences. You're
Mm-hmm.
a different gender, unless you're homosexual, which is fine too. You still take experiences from that,
Yeah, you still do your thing.
but it's just you learn so much, and it sucks to like be the one wearing the pants all the time. So experience in a relationship is good. You get to learn from each other.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a lot of reasons why some relationships don't work out is because no one's really like they're not growing together.
Yeah,
They're they're more so like one person's just growing off the other person, and that person's just growing apart because it's not a mutual kind of thing where they're teaching each other things. It's just one, like how you said, just one person constantly leading, and it does get tiring, and it kind of does push the other person away as well.
for sure. And then
So
at some point in time, like that person who you've been so used to leading, like they're gonna want to be teaching at some point. You know, they're gonna want to share their
yeah,
experiences, and they can't do it with you because you've done so much more than
taught
they
them
do. Yeah,
everything.
so
Yeah,
one day you might find yourself shook, and they're not gonna be there, and they're gonna
yeah,
feel like they need someone else to be equal with, and
yeah. Or
then
even the other way around, the person leading could get tired of like constantly
likewise,
teaching,
yeah,
and they want to
for
learn
sure.
something, right? So it
it's
does work
it's
both
definitely
ways.
interesting. So like I'd say when it comes to someone being, I don't know how we got here, but when it comes to someone being with different people, it can be a blessing in disguise for whatever reasons we just said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
how
I
long are
totally
your
agree. Yeah, and we
podcasts?
did get
Usually
off
just as
topic
long
of
as
it.
hell. What
It's
was your
at
last one?
27 minutes right now. My last one was the same amount of time, and then my first one was like 37 minutes. But we can wrap this up soon.
How are you feeling about it? This whole podcast thing.
I'm kind of loving it. Like I never thought that I would actually feel so happy just doing this
Mm.
because I did have a YouTube channel before. And I think I talked about it in my first
Yeah, I remember.
podcast that like I got yeah I got like a lot of um what's it called, like compliments and stuff like from the online community, but as soon as it came to like high, because I was still in high school,
Yeah,
right? So like I didn't really get much of anything like other than people talking shit.
yeah.
So I guess that kind of tore my self-esteem down, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Like I ended up like shutting down the whole channel and everything, and like I just wasn't there for it anymore. And then I didn't do anything until this podcast, and I've always wanted to, and I feel like I've always had so much to say on my mind, but I just never got the chance to.
Hmm.
So then once I started this podcast, I got great love from like everyone, and nothing but like positivity. Like I don't think anyone said one negative thing to me about it. So it kind of does push me to want to keep doing more, and like having guests on. Like I'm so happy that I got the chance to have you on my podcast. Like to me it's a big thing. Like I think it's a big accomplishment. But
For
yeah.
sure. Like,
So thank you for that.
no, definitely. Like, there's no question. Like, and I do it again, no problem. And yeah, it really is like it's therapeutic to be able to just kind of have an outlet that you created for yourself to voice your opinion, right? It's kind of like a public journal almost, and you can get your thoughts out there. You can have discussions. You can engage people like all over the world. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so no, it's definitely a big step. Like congratulations on starting your own podcast.
Thank you so
It
much.
does get hard. Like you're gonna feel like there's times when you just can't think of topics, or you feel like your growth
Or where
is
you have
going
technical
slow, or
difficulties.
technical difficulties. Yeah, but trust me, the key is just to keep going. Like
Yeah,
a
for
lot of
sure.
people I see quit like YouTube because it takes a lot to grow. Like not everyone's gonna be like a viral success.
Hmm.
But you just have to keep true to yourself and keep true to like the core people that follow you, and eventually it will grow. Like it gets there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping it gets great and everything. And the fact that I even have you on here, like I said before, is huge for me. So it's definitely
That's
a
that's humbling.
big
Thank you.
push. No worries. It's definitely a big push for me, and I'm just gonna keep continuing doing this. So
No,
yeah,
I'll definitely
I s-
listen for sure.
thank you so much. Yeah, you've been supporting since day one, and
Gang shit.
I hope you keep supporting.
I will
But
still
yeah,
tell your friends I said what's
thank.
popping.
Oh, okay. I'll
Um,
have all his Instagram and everything down below, but I'm pretty sure most of you probably already follow him. So
Not just in case, I'm gonna plug myself. So yo, follow
yeah.
me on Instagram at Lloyd Julian. I'm sure it'll be in the description box below. But more importantly, follow my YouTube channel. It's called Sunday Brunch. It's a lot like this, except there's a video aspect to it. So yeah, you hear me talk about things and you get to see my face. I recorded a video today on cultural appropriation, which is a sticky topic. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely head to the channel. And if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed to Kazi's channel, make sure you subscribe. I know a lot of people just like listen to stuff and like they'll come back to channels and they just won't subscribe. So make sure you guys subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and be a part of the discussion in the comments. Let Kazi know how you feel about sexualization on Instagram, about people being with a lot of partners in their past. Everything we've talked about. Let her know in the comments. I'm sure she'll respond to you guys.
I definitely will. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope I can have you back on here some other time.
Definitely will.
Okay. All right. See you guys next Sunday.